LinkedIn has made some recent changes. So this video is how to maximize your LinkedIn profile to make sure it gets noticed by hiring managers and recruiters. Before we start, I just want to make sure that you have your settings and privacy set to the right things. So first of all, go to visibility. And make sure that shared job changes, education changes, work anniversaries is off, because every time you make the changes, you don't want your network to be updated. And whilst I'm here, go to data privacy. Make sure that data for generative AI improvement is off. In some countries, LinkedIn is starting to use post content for their own AI improvement. As somebody that posts my own content, my own thoughts, I don't want LinkedIn to be able to use that as part of their AI. So I've got mine off. Go down to messages and make sure that signal your interest to recruiters and companies, creative job alerts for is on. It should be automatically. And then go to messages and make sure that you can receive invitation messages from recruiters. That should automatically be on. So going back now to the LinkedIn profile itself. If you haven't taken off the numbers already, you will have numbers at the end of your URL. Take them off to make it neater. So click on that pencil. And then here, edit your custom URL, and you can take the numbers off. This is the page where you can see what your profile looks like to members of the public. So make sure all of this is on, and make sure that your profile photo can be seen by anybody, not just your connections. LinkedIn is used to shortlist candidates, and you need to make sure that people can see you smiling, and so they can see that you are somebody that they would like to work with. There's a big move on LinkedIn now, people having header photos here, and people do think that profiles might be unfinished if you don't have one. You can get a free stock image from either unsplash.com or pexels.com, but make sure that the one that you have here is in fitting with your image and your brand. It's better to have something generic like that than to have something that doesn't quite work. I did have one person who had a rugby pitch up here. He didn't know what to put. It was his local rugby pitch, but it made him look like a school headmaster, not the sales director that he was. Moving to photos now, make sure that your photo, you can see the whites of the eyes and you're smiling. If at all possible, do get one that is professional looking. I had somebody that had one in an evening gown with some awards. I thought it looked like she was carrying a tray of drinks. She told me it was awards that she was holding. So obviously there was a mismatch there in what she was trying to say and what I was looking at her on her photo. You can just get one taken with your iPhone against a white wall, but just try and make it look a bit more professional. What you've put here on your headline has changed recently. LinkedIn now is all about storytelling. And so you need to put a sentence saying about what you do or who you help, how you help businesses achieve. Because now there is an AI section in the search where you can say, looking for people who help businesses achieve that. And so that's why you need to have what you do in this section here to help you be picked up. But alongside that, do still have a job title and have some things or different areas that you work in as well. Your location must always be the location that you want to look for work. If you're looking to move, well, then put the location, the new location in that you want to be found for work. Because when recruiters use software, they might type in job title, type in location, and if you're not in that location, you're not going to come up. Likewise, don't put something broad like United Kingdom. Make sure it's specific to the town, your nearest big town. Open to work. I just want to mention about the open to work banner because some people don't like to use it. The open to work banner was created by LinkedIn during COVID and because they were wanting to help people being put on furlough get into work. At that time, LinkedIn were looking at the data and they found that I think it's around 40% more outreach from recruiters and hiring managers for those that had open to work. Since then, I haven't been able to find any updated data, but I don't think it makes you look desperate. And that's one of the reasons that people don't like it. In my many years of career coaching, I've only ever heard one recruiter say to one of my clients that they thought it made them look desperate. I think from a recruiter's point of view, they want candidates that they think might be interested in a job. And so if you are open to work, it signals your interest that you are looking to move quite quickly. When it comes to salary negotiation, people are scared if it makes them look desperate, they might be offered a lower salary. I think, to be honest, you need to be getting the interviews first, and then you can worry about salary negotiation, and you can negotiate up based on what you talk about, you deliver metrics-wise in your interview. At this point, you just need to get the interview. And so letting people know that you are looking for work is a good thing. If you do choose to do just open to recruiters only, that goes off after 90 days. So you will have to then put that back on in 90 days. Moving down now to your About section. LinkedIn is your online profile and it is used by people to shortlist. And so be as in-depth as you want to be. If you have relocated and you have a visa, make sure that you put here, I have the right to work in the UK, I have the right to work in the EU, wherever you have the right to work, because otherwise you won't put forward because they're going to think that you need sponsorship. And in your About section, it needs to be storytelling, telling about what you deliver for a company, not just your experience, but what you deliver, your unique selling point, what sets you apart from other people. If you are at manager level or director level, you deliver through people. So make sure you bring in those people skills as well. And then at the bottom, it can be quite good to list some specialities. These are keywords, which once again, when they're using the software, you can come up in their searches. You can have skills now at the bottom of your About section and at the bottom of jobs as well. And so make sure that you keep updating your skills list. I think you can have up to 100 at the moment. When you're applying for jobs, it might be, say, on LinkedIn, it might say that you have 5 of the 10 necessary skills. When you see what else is needed, the common ones that you don't have, you can keep adding them to your LinkedIn profile. It's good to have a featured section, especially if you're in an industry that needs a portfolio, such as architecture, UX design, perhaps marketing. So link to an external portfolio here, or if you've been mentioned in a newspaper article, if you're given a speech at a conference, anything to help praise your professional brand, add into a featured section. LinkedIn algorithms prefer people who have a current work experience section. So if you've been made redundant and you've ended it, make sure that you add something new here. So let me show you what I mean. So I want to add myself a new position. I put the job title, Senior Career Coach. And then when it comes to company organization, you can put open to work. And as you can see, you can have one of those. And then in this section here, you can say open to full-time, part-time contracting opportunities. If you don't want open to work here, one thing that you could do if you're open to freelance contracts is put yourself as a freelancer. That's an option, or fractional positions. Think about what you want to put, but just make sure that you do have a current work experience section. In your work experience section, do have metric results and achievements, maybe some key points, because that will be looked at. And you can reorder them as well. You can reorder the sections should you choose to do that by clicking on those arrows. One thing that's really important is that you put languages on your LinkedIn profile. Recruiters say to me that they struggle to find candidates if they're looking for them to speak specific languages because they don't have languages there, so add the language section. When it comes to education, if you're worried about ageism, well, then you might not want to put your degree, the year of your degree. Do put any courses that you've done. You could also take off some previous work experience history. But if you are doing that, if your photo shows your genuine age, well, then you may as well be honest and include it all, because there might be a mismatch if you've only got 10 years work experience, but then your photo shows you to be 60 or 70 and close to retirement. Upskilling and CPD is really important. So if you do have some time on your hands, you might want to do some LinkedIn learning, any courses, things like AI, communication, team management, anything to add to show your interest in your own self-development is a good thing. Put in volunteering. Here we have the skills list. And you need recommendations. You need recommendations to get what's called an all-star profile, which means you get higher up on recruiter searches. 96% of recruiters look for candidates on LinkedIn. A lot of them now aren't paying to advertise jobs, and you need to be found. So try and get at least 2 per year, maybe. So maybe from somebody that you managed, or somebody that managed you, or maybe an external client. Make sure as well that you join groups. This is important because it can be a workaround needing to get LinkedIn Premium. If you are in a group, the same group as somebody, well then you get free messaging rights to them. So you could type somebody and then find out, go to the bottom of their profile, type the name of their, go to the bottom of their profile, find what group they're in, join the same group as them, and then after 5 days, you can message them directly. So that's a very quick 101, updating your LinkedIn profile to be optimized. There's lots more I could share. I could share on networking with people, making connections, thought leadership, posting. But for now, update your LinkedIn profile to optimize it. And any questions, feel free to message me.